Have you ever had one of those days, or maybe weeks, where you feel like you're just spinning your wheels? You're busy, for sure, but you're not actually being productive, not getting anywhere that really matters. Yeah, we've all been there. So today, we're going to dive deep into the timeless wisdom of Stephen Covey's classic, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a game plan for achieving success that actually lasts, from the inside out. Let's break it down.
Covey kicks the whole thing off with this incredible idea. His point is, if we really want to change our lives, we don't need another new technique or some quick fix. What we need is a total paradigm shift. We have to change the very lens we're looking through, because so often our perception, well, that is the problem.
I mean, think about it, right? We run into issues with managing our time, or in our relationships, or maybe with our teams at work. And what's our first instinct? We grab a new app, or we try some little communication trick we read about. But Covey says those are just Band-Aids. They cover up the symptoms, but they do absolutely nothing for the root cause.
So what is that root cause? Well, Covey argues that it's all about our fundamental approach to what success even is. And for the last century or so, he says we've basically been taught two very different, competing ways to get there. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. For the last 50 years, our culture's been obsessed with what he calls the personality ethic. This is all about public image, skills, and techniques. It's about looking good. But the older path, the one that's way more enduring, is the character ethic. And this is built on foundational principles, things like integrity, courage, and honesty. This one is all about being good.
And this quote, it just nails the whole path forward. Covey's entire framework is built on this exact sequence. Before you can ever hope to effectively lead a team or build a lasting relationship with someone, you first have to master yourself.
So, this first stage is all about building that internal character, about becoming truly independent. And this is where the first 3 absolutely foundational habits come into play.
Think of these 3 habits. Be proactive, begin with the end in mind, and put first things first, as the building blocks. They're what take us from being dependent on whatever's happening around us to actually being in control of our own lives.
All right, so habit 1 is the big one, be proactive. And really, it just boils down to taking responsibility. It's this deep understanding that, hey, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control your response. You're the one in the driver's seat. But as Covey points out, when you pick up one end of the stick, that's your action, you're also picking up the other end, that's the consequence. They're tied together. Habit 2 is all about vision. You know, if you don't know where you're going, any road will get you there, right? This habit is about defining your destination. It's about creating a personal mission statement, a kind of personal constitution that lays out your deepest values and goals so you have something to guide every single decision you make.
So once you have that destination in mind, habit 3 is all about execution. It's the day-to-day practice of putting first things first. And Covey's time management matrix just captures this perfectly. See, every single thing we do can be sorted by how urgent it is and how important it is. Most of us, we get trapped in quadrant I, constantly fighting fires, or we just drift off into the time-wasting zones of quadrants 3 and 4.
But the truly effective people, they live right here, in quadrant 2. These are the things that are super important, but they're not urgent, yet. This is where you do your deep work, planning, preventing problems before they start, building relationships, and really developing yourself. This is how you stop putting out fires and start preventing them altogether.
Okay, so once you've achieved that private victory, once you've gotten a handle on yourself, you are ready for the next stage. This is where we move from independence to interdependence, achieving success with other people.
And the core concept you have to understand for public victory is the emotional bank account. It's such a brilliant metaphor for the amount of trust that exists in any relationship. Every positive interaction, like keeping a promise or really listening, is a deposit. And every negative one, like breaking a commitment, is a withdrawal. Simple as that.
So, how do we make these deposits that are so crucial? Well, it's not about grand gestures. As you can see here, it's all about the consistency of the little things. Taking the time to truly listen, always keeping your promises, and having the integrity to say, I'm sorry when you mess up, and make a withdrawal.
Because ultimately, everything in our lives that involves other people, whether it's your family or your business, it's all built on that foundation of trust. Without a high balance in that emotional bank account, real collaboration is pretty much impossible.
This brings us right to habit 4, think win-win.
This isn't about my way or your way. It's about finding a better way, a third alternative that works for everyone. And get this, if you absolutely can't find a solution where both sides genuinely win, the most effective option is often no deal. You just agree to disagree respectfully. That way you preserve the relationship for the future.
But how do you actually get to a win-win outcome? That's the magic of the next two habits. Habit 5 is a total game changer in communication. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Think about it. Most of us listen with the intent to reply. This is about empathetic listening, about truly seeing the world from their point of view. And only then, once they feel totally heard, can you move to habit 6, synergize. This isn't a compromise. It's about valuing their different perspectives so much that you create something new and better together, something neither of you could have thought of on your own.
But let's be real. Practicing all 6 of these habits takes a ton of energy, focus, and resilience. And none of it is sustainable without this final, crucial habit that makes all the others even possible.
Habit 7, Sharpen the Saw, is all about you. It's the habit of renewal. If you don't take the time to rest and recharge, to grow in the physical, mental, spiritual, and social parts of your life, you are going to burn out. This habit is what keeps your engine running strong, so you can continue to be effective.
So, as we bring all 7 of these habits together, you start to see it's not just a list of tips, is it? It's an upward spiral of growth. But what's the ultimate destination? Where is this whole journey taking us?
See, the goal isn't just to be more productive. The real goal is to live a life of integrity, a principle-centered life where your daily actions are true reflection of your deepest held values. It's about creating a life that isn't just successful on the outside, but one that is meaningful and fulfilling on the inside.
This path of self-growth is a continuous journey, right? It's not a single event. It requires patience and real commitment. So looking at all these principles we've talked about, my question for you is, what's the one small step, the one habit you can begin to practice today?